Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for week 27. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report that has extra many details, has extra many profits, losses, whatever it is that we're going to present to you here today. So because we have now finished Q2, and that also means we are at the end of another month, and in this particular case it's the end of month of June. So that means that we'll present you also quite a few of the monthly profits for our individual robots and other platforms. So let's get started. Let's have a look and see exactly where we are with everything, which ones has actually moved, which ones hasn't. And we're actually going to start off with one that has moved now. Finally, for the last 3 months, we have just seen the quarterly profit, or at least we've been waiting for this one to come in. The 5% is now in. It actually arrived in our platform here. So just earlier in the week, a few days after the 1st of June. And obviously it is not what we are used to, but we are getting the contractual 5% every single quarter. It came in, and at the moment it has also been added to our yield notes balance here at the end of the day, which is obviously great news. But what we really want to try and understand is when we can actually get the money out again. Now we know still this is at the end of 2023, or could even be at the first quarter 2024. So we still have to be very much patient. And we are also waiting for the NFT update here that we understand could be coming very, very soon. But again, we have heard this for weeks or over a month here since last time we spoke to Steve, the CEO. And obviously, we will have to see exactly if this is going to come true before the end of this particular week, which has already gone more than half. Now, obviously, also because we finally had something to celebrate here on yield notes and a bit of profit, we made a bit of video on this one here just to show you a couple of updates and what has changed within the platform itself here also. And obviously the next one will be about the NFT, how you can actually also get it on your Ledger wallet. How exactly that works, we will try and explain to you when everything has been released, so that we'll try and help you also get your NFTs in. But then again, don't really panic, because there's not really a timeline, there's not really a deadline for when you have to do this particular step. It will be all explained here. So in the next, as I said, week or two to come, hopefully Steve, he will send us something. Now, if we have a look at the Decenomy coins, and let's always start here with SAPP, the crown jewel, which is not so much crown jewel at the moment because pretty much nothing happens. But anyway, we are still doing the shared masternoding on the iHostMN website here. We can see that we are down about 0.5% return on the investment per year at the moment, which is pretty much status quo from last week. Now what we have here is we have about 3% since last week. We are now up 183.44%. Obviously quite well. Hopefully once everything starts moving again here with the Decenomy and yield notes, this will become a lot more. But overall coin development has gone backwards also this week. It's not really because a lot of movements on the coins itself. It is simply just the price of the euro against the coins here at the moment. That is changing slightly, and that's basically what you see in the overall coin development. We are down by about 7%, but it could be the other way around by next week. Now the graph itself, it looks like this. Again, not much movement. Overall, we had a bit of a positive trend. And then since then, it is pretty much sideways at the moment here. So not really much movement, and don't expect much more in the next many weeks and months. PNY is another one that pretty much doesn't move. It only gets influenced a bit by the dollar and the euro and the Bitcoin price itself. There's not really movement because of the volume that's being traded here. We can see that the percentage is up by about 1.5% on the iHostMN website here, which is obviously always good. And for the shared masternoding, we made almost 10% for that last week. So we're up 1136%. Big numbers. And obviously once things are moving again, also here, we hope to have a huge jump. But let's wait and see. Still too early days. Overall coin development down by about 3%. So we are still hovering about the all-time low, minus 97%. And obviously, again, the graph itself here within the PNY is flat as a pancake, as we continue to mention. Now, Birake is the only one where we see some real actually trading flow on it. And in this particular case, we have also seen the return on the investment is up by quite a bit, 135% last week. This week is up by 20%, so up to 153. So that is the good news. And then we also have about 7% or 8% here, so on the shared masternoding, and that is also decent. So last week it was 338% we had. Now we're basically up to 349. So again, it's actually more than 10%, isn't it? So now that we calculate and see the numbers, overall coin development is slightly up by a couple of percent. And then coin development is pretty much at 0 at the moment. So obviously not much to write home about here either. The graph, it looked like it broke the downwards trend, but it's not exactly like it's rising to the top here very, very quickly. We will have to see what's going to happen also here in the next weeks, months to come. Now, Bitcoin versus USD, last week we saw a huge jump, or the week before here, from 25 and up to about 30,000. Since then, it has been trading slightly sideways, but in the positive direction here still. We just entered the 30,200, so with Bitcoin last week. And then since then, it has been up to 31,000. It has also dropped again to below 30, only for a brief moment. And then at the moment, again, it looks like a positive trend is putting the last couple of days into nice perspectives. If we have a look at BNB versus USD, also here we see a similar trend to what we have seen on Bitcoin. Again, we left this at about 233 last week. Since then, it has also been moving up, and after that, trading a bit sideways, and again, also here with a positive trend for the last day or two. So interesting to see if that is going to continue for the next couple of days in the market. Now that we are mentioning crypto, I also like to tell you here that Ledger is currently having a bit of a sale, a 10% sale here, and that is for the privacy protection pack that you have within your recovery phrase that you can actually put into metal, and this can actually withstand fire, and obviously a good way to keep your passwords safe, especially when you also can get a discount at the same time. So there's obviously multiple solutions with the Ledger in here, but this is a very good way of getting a bit of discount and some extra security at the moment. So if you want to buy this pack, so basically you put in your phrase words in here, so they are safe in case you leave it in your car, in your house, and something burns down. You should still very much have all these phrases in here. So that's an extra layer of security at the end of the day. We will make sure that we have a link in the description below, so you can obviously make use of the 10% if you want to have such an offer. Now, Trillant and the Trillant platform itself, we are still waiting for the stablecoin, to actually be released. And the disappointing news we have is that we have absolutely heard nothing from Eric. We have heard nothing from the management. And despite, as I mentioned here, I saw a German video made quite a few weeks ago now saying, okay, we're going to go out and tell the community. We have absolutely heard nothing. We are now out of Q2, which was basically what he mentioned to us last time. This was going to be done. So definitely a break in the trust here, so that we don't even get the slightest information coming out of what's exactly happening. This should have been very clearly communicated, both in English, German, and whatever else language that people are in here. So very disappointing overall. The reason for this, again, is obviously we are doing our staking, so on individual short-term and long-term in here. And obviously this is quite important, that not only are we staking, but we can also take part of it out, or we could even go out again on the two exchanges I'm going to show you here in a second and buy some of the TRILL up. The TRILL is not a stable coin. That one is actually in slight decline at the moment. So obviously it could be a good way of both getting money out and at the same time investing more in these coins, but it's simply not possible at the moment until Eric sort of comes out of the bush here and tells us a bit what exactly going to happen, what is the plan, and hopefully stick to it this time around. Now xt.com, we can see again here it has been a decline, as I mentioned, maybe not as much as the other times, but basically we're looking at around 10% since last week. It was at the 0.0003081. Now it's down to 0.0002750, and obviously again here it looks like there is more sales than basically buys, and obviously that lowers the price slowly but surely. CoinStore is a bit of the same one, even though we had some huge spikes in here. So for some reason we had huge spikes, but we didn't really see a high flow on the buy, as you can see with the green line in here. But let's have a look at the price. Also here it's at 0.0002950, also down by about 10% to 0.0002775. But here we had a lot higher volume on the sales part of 560 million. So quite a lot again. People are selling off and nobody is really buying, because I guess they don't want to go in and spend any more money on the Trillant platform until they see something nice and positive, especially from Birake and the information in there. Nice and positive is not what you're going to find with the money tree, which is a bit unusual because it had a terrible month after so many nice months where we have seen things are working okay after we set things up. We had a really poor month of June here, both on the low, medium and high risk account. And does it mean that it doesn't work anymore? No, of course not. It meant that for some reason here, after we had a look at the numbers, that we didn't really have many trades. So the trades were actually down by 20 to 25% in here. And then on top of this, when the trades opened, it opened against it, and all of them opened at the same time, would obviously put a lot of pressure on the drawdowns itself. And if you remember, we have a drawdown protection in here, and that basically kicked in on all of the accounts. So one of the things that hopefully the developers and LeapFX is going to fix here is to make sure that you don't have too many accounts opening up at the same time, because obviously then it doesn't provide enough capital to make sure that the drawdown is not reached. So if you have one or two, then definitely it would be working quite nicely. Now things has moved around again here. As you can see, for week 26, we are up, and we are up in profit for all of them. So even the low risk did quite well with the highest 4.9%, just over $300, the medium 233 or 4.7%. The high risk here did $186 or 4%. So definitely things are back on the move, and hopefully we also see some improved trading here. 4% in a week is definitely still approved as the lowest one. Now the other one, which is definitely also approved, is the profit retriever. And for week 26, we have the top 5 EA results here. The US 30 index number 2 here, $429, 4.3% is reasonable, even though all the numbers is a bit low, as you can see, compared to previous. We have our gold with $351 or 3.5%. New Zealand Swiss francs, 293 or 2.9%. And then the second US 30 index. So they are always cashing in quite nicely, even though they have some small drawdowns from time to time, $278 or 2.8%. Aussie USD number 2, $262 or 2.6%. Overall, if you would have traded these 5 in the past week, you would have made $1,614 or 3.2%. And still, even though this is very, very low numbers compared to what we're used to seeing, we'll take it any day of the week. Now, obviously, the bigger numbers are when you're having a look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is basically for June. And again, here you see many of the same ones at the moment coming through. The US 30 index number 2, $2,943. Or 29.4%. Don't forget that I keep mentioning that these funds here are cashing in all the time, even though you will see them basically just drop for a week or two, go into drawdown, and then they come back with the vengeance, as I mentioned. Sometimes they're really cashing in the right direction. Gold is also doing extremely well here with $1,911 or 19.1%. And then the second 30 US index here, 1,881. or 18.8%. Definitely these 3 are cashing in and has been doing quite well compared to some of all the other currencies here. Aussie USD is the first Forex pair we have with $1,092 or 10.9%. And then New Zealand Swiss francs, $950 or 9.5%. Again, very good numbers. Don't forget, these are all monthly profits, $8,777 if you traded those 5 in the last month, or 17.6%. And definitely those are numbers we like. Now, you also know that we have a portfolio of around 25 EAs that are currently running and taking care of themselves, even though obviously we are updating them from time to time here with new settings to make sure that we adjust for the market. You can see that the history we have is quite a long history now of 476 days. So definitely very stable signals, very stable EAs in here, even though we calculate from time to time that we will blow an account or two every single quarter. But with the profits, as you can see that we are getting in, we are still on the positive side. Now for the month of June here also, we made pretty much the same as for the month of May, $18,326, and already in July we're up by 1,500, so definitely good numbers so far. The monthly return, you will continue to see that that is actually declining, and again it is actually declining because we are not increasing the lot size, even though that we have made more than $250,000 already on this particular portfolio now. So that is something also to take notice of. And obviously you can find more details on the profit retriever, where we are also taking a look back, normally around 4 weeks here. And the last 4 weeks back, basically taking place from week 26 and 4 weeks back, was a bit low. It was one of the lowest numbers we had so far. It was only $9,000 for the top 10 results in here. But it's still very much important that you go and have a look at these videos, because it will show you again the stability over time here, which ones is the best ones to actually trade, and especially also if you're in the copy link trading itself. Now also for the bigger quarter of Q2, we have made a video here again about the profit retriever and the profits we made. Even that one is quite low, only $47,000 in profit for Q2. And compared to 69 in first quarter, it is definitely not what we wanted, but we have seen the markets and a bit of a slowdown in the last couple of weeks. And obviously we also had a very bad start to the second quarter, because it started off in March and then spilled over into April, where we had some heavy drawdowns on the profit retriever. So this one will explain a bit, and you will see exactly how the individual currencies did for the first 6 months. Now we get a lot of people asking us all the time, what about the drawdown? What about this? What about that? And obviously we cannot cover every single thing in every single video in here. And that's why we always mention to people, please go on our website, go and find the profit retriever. Go and have a look at the FX Blue links that you see on the screen here. You can click the individual ones and you can look at all the data that you hard contents basically, and you can find exactly the details that you want to have in here, because we cannot cover every single currency, every single drawdown, every single profits. So that is the reason why we provide everything free of charge to you. You can go and have a look at all this to see if this is something you actually want to trade with. If you don't want to do that, then we have the copy link trading service, and that's exactly also where some of our videos come into play, where you can see our links. And we will be adding a couple of links here in the next couple of weeks. I have already spoken to Alex, but Alex is from Expert Forex, is currently away on a bit of a vacation, and we don't want to bother him too much. But the new links that you have seen with the account numbers in here that doesn't have the copy links service will not be included this particular weekend, but he has promised me they will be ready for the next weekend again. And that's where you can go in and then copy those particular ones. And that is some of the ones that are actually doing quite well. Also at the moment, gold is one of them. Now, obviously, we also have our spaghetti trader, and that one we have also been trading, but definitely had some issues with it. And if we have a look at the spaghetti trader for week 26, we can see again it's mixed results. The 15 minutes did extremely well with over $600. The 1 hour one was actually not working so well that it has been in the past, so 349 down. And then we have the 4-hour one with $248 and 2.8%. So again, very mixed results week by week. And if we have a look at the results for June, then they're definitely not going in the right direction, even though the 15-minute here is doing quite well with $475, 5.2%. The 1-hour one is a complete disaster here with $990 in minus, or minus 10.2%. And then the 4-hour one has a balanced loss of $159 or 1.7%. And I also mentioned that we are making some changes, and this is going to be the last changes for the spaghetti trader to see if we can get a good stable profit going on this particular one. So we are now basically running on crossovers instead of take profit and stop loss. We're not exactly sure how that's going to go. So we believe we tried that early in the beginning, and that didn't show any particular positive results, and the take profit and stop loss certainly didn't either, but we have made some adjustments anyway to give it one last shot. Most probably we're going to run to the end of July here to figure out if anything has changed. Otherwise we have to go out and say, well, we are not going to recommend this one. It is for free, and I believe that is the reason why Alex never actually charged the forum members for this particular one in here, because he did mention to me that this one, he had some mixed results with this, and certainly that's also what we see. Now you can obviously go and have a look on our website. Also here, you can have a look at more details, exactly what we have done on the 15, 1 hour and 4 hour time frames in here. Again, go to the FX Blue links and you can find all the details for yourself, and then all to your heart's content. Trade Explorer, that is a completely different matter. That has done extremely well ever since it came in day one. We did have a bit of a hiccup and a scare at one point with the 22 pairs. For week 26, the profit is a bit down, $121 only, or 0.9%. And we did drop the lot size, so from 0.2 down to 0.1 after the little scare and the drawdowns we had. But we don't believe that that had the huge effect. Obviously, most probably the profit should have been about twice as much. But if you look at the 10 pairs, which is running at a 0.03 lot size, then they made $296 or 2.3%. So overall, it was a bit of a slow week. But as I also mentioned here before, the Trade Explorer actually makes a lot of its money. So when some of the currency pairs goes into a drawdown, it actually takes the opportunity that when there's a retracement, then it actually continues to cash in, not just for $10 or $15 profit, but it actually ramps up the profits to about 100, 200, depending on how much the initial drawdown was. And then on top of that, it also seems to have trailing stop in here, which can actually increase the profits a bit more if the trend is reversing. Now the Trade Explorer for June has some extremely nice numbers here, and as we can see, the 22 pair did extremely well with $2,522 or 23.4%. The 10 pair one, which is the more conservative settings, is $1,748 or 15.6%, and it looks like a lot of people seems to be very happy here with the Trade Explorer and how it has been doing in the last couple of weeks and months. We definitely get some nice comments back, and people want to buy this one. And obviously you can do this in here again on our website. You can go in and have a look at the changes we did on the 22 pair account. Have a look exactly at the drawdowns, which has been extremely low on both accounts, but the most scary one was basically the 22 pair that went up pretty much into almost a margin call at one point, because there was a lot of trending currencies, and basically the EA got it wrong. Now you can obviously buy this with a discount and support the channel in here also, at the same time as you get a bit of pricing off from your EA. Now the good part here is we don't really have any new videos from Alex, but we have some new information about the prop cruncher, and this is basically the new EA that he has been working on now for quite a few months. And again, this should be able to take care of the FTMO challenges, where you can actually trade other people's money. Obviously, everybody is very excited about this, and the information is overflowing in the premium forum in here. And that is also where they have basically mentioned that the premium forum pricing here is going to go up for the new members, because this here will be free of charge, but then the forum membership will go up here instead. Now, we have seen some details and some information on this up until now. And the latest ones that we have just received is actually an email from Alex that all 4 members should have had, where it says we have started beta testing the link account prop trading vision on the prop cruncher, and then they are looking for testers. We didn't think that that was going to happen, but obviously it does. So that means that we now could get our hands on this particular one. We are looking for these 10 testers for the FTMO successful prop cruncher robot. And then again, here it says, as a pre-launch test of the link account version of the prop cruncher, we are inviting interested members of our paid forum to test this great trading robot that is crunching prop trading trials. So paid members of the forum can use a link in here, which we have covered up just to make sure that nobody's trying to hack their way in here. But obviously that is quite interesting to see, and obviously we are looking forward to seeing more results of the prop cruncher. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, we are also crunching the numbers. We are crunching a lot of big interest in a lot of different things at the same time. Most of the things continue to look positive, but obviously it is almost impossible to have a 100% success rate every single week. So that is why we are very open about everything that is going on, and hopefully that will also be a help for you. So please give us a thumbs up, a like, and even a comment if you have something that you want to add to it. Otherwise, our email is of course always open. Also, we always try to basically get some details and comments back to you, so whatever you are asking. So I hope to see you on my next news report or one of my other videos. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.